Hey gang, it's Ron. CTREIA. Sorry, I'm out of breath and it's a little bit windy. I'm walking here, so I'll get my steps in. All right, let's talk about month to month. This is probably the single biggest thing I get asked is why do you do month to month leases only? Let me tell you something. There's no advantage in the blue states, specifically Connecticut, because that's what I know, to having a 1-year lease if you're the landlord. Tons of advantages if you're a tenant. Okay, so let me explain how this usually happens. You sign a 1-year lease with a tenant, and 3-4 months into it, she gets a job in Atlanta or meets a guy in Ansonia. She's leaving. Okay, what are your options at that point? Well, she owes me 8 months rent. All right, technically, I'm charging $1,000 a month. She owes me $8,000. So can I collect $8,000? No, because I'm going to go to court. And the judge is going to say, well, you got to mitigate your damages. And the most I'm going to give you on that is 2 months there, bucko. Okay, so now I can get $2,000 from this girl who works at Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, so I could take her to court, couldn't I, to get that judgment? I could do that. Here's the problem. I'm an LLC. That means by state law, I can't represent myself. I'm not a lawyer, can't practice the law. I got to hire a lawyer. Now I got to hire a lawyer to go try to collect $2,000 from a girl who works at Dunkin' Donuts. But let's say I'm pissed off, because not about money at this point, I'm losing money, okay? But I want to prove a point, so I go all the way with it. I get a judgment. Congratulations, you're right, she owes you $2,000. Great, I got a judgment. What does that do for me? It doesn't do anything for me. The court doesn't give you $2,000, they give you a judgment. Go get the money there, sunshine. Okay, so let's say I do that. I get a marshal to garnish her bank account, or her wages. I figure out she works at Dunkin' Donut. What am I gonna get? $5 a week? That's if I get it, by the way. So as soon as they garnish her wages, do you know what she's gonna do? She's gonna quit that job, go get another job. Now I gotta hunt her down again. Spending more money. I'll spend $2,000 to get $2,000, okay? The reality is, it's bulletproof to the tenant. There's nothing I can really do. I can ding her credit. I can do all kinds of things just to kind of get back at her. But it doesn't put money in my pocket. There's no advantage. They can leave pretty much penalty free. The converse though, okay, let's look at it from my side. So now I rent to some girl. She's terrific. She makes 3 times the rent, never been evicted, been at her permanent full-time job for 12 months or longer, Welcome aboard. Congratulations on your new apartment. She moves in. She's great for a couple of months. She goes out clubbing. She meets some guy. He's terrific, I'm told, right? He moves in. Turns out he's an asshole. He's working on cars in the driveway, got cars everywhere. That's how he makes money. He's smoking weed at 3 a.m., listening to music, with his buddies, disrupting the whole building. Now I'm getting a ton of phone calls, but she pays her rent. And we have a 1-year lease. I'm stuck with this asshole for an entire year. Could I take him to court for a lease violation? Absolutely I can. Will I win? Absolutely I will not. What'll happen is, as long as she's paying her rent, the judge is going to be like, tell your boyfriend to knock it off. Like, okay. There's almost no judge out there who's going to get rid of a tenant that's paying their rent, okay, regardless of the circumstances. So that's just the reality of the market, okay? However, in a month-to-month lease, I just terminate. Just say, hey, I decided not to renew. You got 30 days to get out, okay? So in my 31-page lease, you heard that right. And the reason it's 31 pages, because all this crap I got to deal with, okay? Pays real well. Look at the beach behind me, okay? This is where I live. So, however, it's full of landmines and headaches, okay? So under my 31-page lease, they have to give me 60 days notice to leave, but the 60 days doesn't begin until the first day of the following month that rent is due. But I only have to give them 30-day notice if I'm going to do that. But Ron, you can't require more notice than the lease allows. The notice has to match the lease term. Wait a minute, no it doesn't. A 1-year lease, if you have a 1-year lease, you got to give them a 1-year notice to get out. Think about it, right? So guys, consider going month to month, especially, depending on where you live. This video is playing all over the country. I'll talk about Connecticut because that's where I own property. I don't own as much as I used to, but there's no advantage depending on where you live. You get all the disadvantage and all the potential headache you got to live with for a year. And the problem with the headache is, you think, well, Ron, why do I care? Why should you care what's going on in one of your buildings in Connecticut? You live here. This is amazing. Yeah, that's cool. The problem is, a bad tenant in a building is a cancer. A month-to-month tenancy protects the other tenants almost as much as it protects me. So half the reason I do it is so the other tenants can have a good place to live. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day.